Sure.
Coming to you from the Radio for One studios in Franklin, Michigan. Welcome to the Detroit Cast.
Big fan. Big fan.
A show not just free of charge, but free of FCC regulations.
Words of the Detroit Cast.
Oh, there it is.
And without further delay,
Sure.
It is my fucking goddamn property! Get out! Now!
coming to you from the Radio for One studios in Franklin, Michigan. Welcome to the Detroit Cast.
Big fan. Big fan.
A show not just free of charge, but free of FCC regulations.
Thank you for your support of the Detroit Cast.
Oh, there it is.
And without further delay, it's showtime. Please welcome the Detroit Cast. Here are your hosts, Mike and Jay.
Good day, everybody. Welcome to the Detroit Cast. Mike and Jay. Big E is here. Shalom E. King, how are you?
Happy to be here, Mike.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me back.
Did you have a good weekend?
I did. I had a great weekend.
Yeah.
Obviously, the weather was awesome.
Spectacular.
I love summers in Michigan, Mike.
I know.
And I love kid events, as you know.
You're a big fan of the kid events.
A lot of kid events this weekend, including my first dance recital.
Well, you didn't participate.
I almost did.
Really?
Yeah, they have a daddy-daughter thing.
Wow.
They have like a daddy dance that started out, you know, just a bunch of fun at the beginning.
Yeah. Why did you not partake in that?
Sweet Pie thought I'd embarrass her.
Oh, yeah. Well, she's got a point.
And I quote, "Dad, you'll embarrass me."
Really?
Yeah.
Do you take that to heart? Does he take that personally
No.
like, oh, man, I wouldn't embarrass you?
No, I would have.
You think you would have? Would you have gotten a napkin out and waved it around?
No,
I mean,
there's like, I don't know, 25 dads up there. You blend in, whatever. We'd have been fine.
Are you
but-
dancing at the same time, or do you have to go
Yeah.
show you? Oh, okay. Well, what's the problem?
I know. It was her first recital, so she was
Yeah.
nervous. It was all of our first recitals. I had no idea. You had to get her flowers.
Did you throw them on stage?
No idea the amount of makeup that goes into a 6, 7, 8-year-old's
Yeah, we've
dance
seen this.
recital.
With Jean Benet Ramsey.
It was very Benet Ramsey esque.
Yeah.
I will say there were a few times where I looked at it and went,
Yeah. What is that? That giant caked on makeup look that they all do with those things. It's weird.
Dude, I think they'll tell you, well, you know, the audience needs to see your eyes a certain way and all that
Yeah.
shit. But I don't know. But it's all bunning of the hair has to be exactly right and shit. Mm-hmm. Like if Gab wasn't around, I was thinking about this today. I would have either had to like off my child on some other woman to do this,
Yeah.
or my child would just be playing boy sports. It just wouldn't.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to do this stuff.
You'd have to go to a salon or something and let pay someone to do
Yeah.
her hair up like that. There's no way you're going to do that. I know there's a kick though online of single dads that are doing that.
Really?
Like learning how to braid hair in weird ways, and there's videos online and they're just heroes.
Yeah, I'll bet.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, look at this dad. Oh my god.
Wow, he can run a brush through her hair.
Oh
I do it every
God.
morning. I
Yeah.
brush Sweet Pie's hair every morning.
Yeah.
I get no credit.
But you don't do braids and cool stuff like
I
that.
have braided.
Have you?
I
Are you
have.
capable of a braid?
Capable of a braid.
Standard braid?
Standard braid, yep. Nothing
Yeah.
French, nothing crazy off the side, nothing like that.
I don't know that that's that impressive. I think I can even do
Yeah,
a standard
you grab
braid.
3 pieces and just alternate.
Start folding and then you tie a big knot.
Yeah.
At the end, just tie a knot in the hair.
So
Well,
I'm
that's-
torn. I'm torn on what I think about this dance recital.
Yeah.
I will say it was too long. Any guesses on how long this thing went?
Okay, she's like 8, so
Yeah.
I'm going to say
3
no more
hours.
than an hour.
3 hours.
You just don't get their attention that long. So if it's a dance, I would think 45 minutes. I mean,
No, dude, your kid is not in the whole thing. That's where you fail right there. Your kid is in 3 numbers, okay?
Oh, no.
And she's like a rec dancer. She's not a competition dancer. If you're a competition dancer, you're probably in 8 or 9.
sure.
She's in rec, so she's got 3. Of course, you have 3 different outfits that you've spent probably $100 on each. So I'm glad we used those today,
Sure.
and we'll hang those up in the closet.
Well, you'll get to use those numerous times throughout the next
no.
year at least.
They're
right?
different every time.
She can-
no resale. They're different every time.
So it's just $100. Just flush it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty
nice.
much.
So what do they have? Costume changes backstage? Do you have to be there to help them? I mean, they can't put those things on themselves.
Gab kept having to run back.
Oh God,
Dude,
Okay, so how long is this thing?
about 240.
What?
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 Yeah.
240.
And let me tell you this. Up until the intermission, I was entertained. I was vastly entertained, as were my 2 boys, Manny and Russell, sitting right next to me.
Yeah.
We were riveted. We were riveted by what we saw, the talent level.
Yeah.
See, this is what they did smartly. They have like a high school age group of chicks who are really, really good.
Sure.
I mean, I have nothing to compare it to. I think they're really, really good.
Yeah.
And so you'd have these little kids do their thing, and it's basically like, yeah, let's parade out a 3-year-old, and everybody goes, look, we taught our kid to do something with its arms, you know? It's
Right,
just, it's
sure.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Wearing a little pink cowboy hat or something.
So is it like going to the high school championship at Ford Field, and then they run the mites, the Pee Wee team out there to play?
Sort of, kind of, yeah. And everybody, oh, look how cute. And
Yeah.
the little ones do a little thing, little tap number or whatever. They leave, and as soon as they leave, another group comes out. Like, I thought there was going to be like 5 minutes, which was going to friggin' kill me. I'm like planning. I told the boys, like, download a movie on your phone, bring an earbud. And we had no time to use it because it was just one after another after another.
Yeah.
And I was honestly impressed. But then intermission came, and as Manny so aptly put it, he's like, once intermission came, I kind of like realized my life without this thing. and
And it was
like,
okay. It was better
and
without
I kind
this
of like
thing.
realized like, okay, maybe I'm done with this. But then of course you're halfway, and you go the next halfway, and you're kind of.
What did you do at intermission? Was there like some sort of like pop and like
Yeah, you go buy
popcorn or something?
water and Kit Kats or something, you know. But yeah, dude,
brutal.
I had no idea you have to buy a little bouquet of flowers for your kid and all this. I mean, in some respects, the terrorists are right, Mike.
Yeah, it's obnoxious.
It was
behavior.
really absurd.
I am impressed though that you got Manny and Russell to this thing.
Oh.
That's not to be understated,
Dude.
It's not easy to do.
Sweet Pie has attended so many of their events.
Yeah.
Like, her whole life, she's been drug all over the country for
Yep.
their events, and so it's the least they could do.
Well,
and they were fine with it.
It was the least my brother and I could do as well. Kristen was the youngest. She's 4.5 years younger than me, you know, a couple years younger than G. And so she was the same as Sweet Pie. She was dragged to every soccer game, every baseball game, every football game, every everything we ever did that parents had to be at. You couldn't just leave the 5-year-old at home. So she was dragged to everything. And then do you think G and I were at her
There's
whatever?
only one explanation.
Dude, not a chance.
My boys are better than you and G.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're better people.
Or my parents were more merciful than you and Gab are because they were like, yeah, you don't want to be anywhere near this.
Combination thereof.
Yeah, yeah. I'm impressed though that they went
Yeah.
and stuck it out.
Yep.
Overall, you glad? Was Sweet Pie happy? I guess it's all that
Oh,
matters.
Sweet Pie was in all her
Yeah.
glory. It wasn't as bad as I thought. I'd heard absolute horror stories about these things, and
Yeah.
it wasn't that bad. And I wonder about the next one though, because now that I've seen it, like, okay, I've already seen everybody else's kids dance for a couple hours.
Yeah.
Am I going to go to the next one and be like, okay, enough, get to Sweet Pie?
Probably.
I thought like you could come and watch Sweet Pie, and then
Yeah,
leave.
then leave.
You know,
Take her home.
Yeah.
Let's go.
But no, they're interspersed.
Oh, they
It's a
do that
whole
on
production.
purpose.
I think they
Yeah,
do.
of course they do. They don't want parents grabbing their kid when their number's done and leaving. Kidding me?
It was something.
Oh my God! No, he's right. Because you obviously all have to sit here and support all of them.
Yeah.
So if you all just like walked in and like, well, there's my daughter, and then
I'll
just
tell you,
left.
man, this shit's a racket, though, dude. You pay for tickets, and
You
you've
pay
got
for a ticket.
you've got the
What?
whole
What?
high school auditorium packed. You have to. Gab had to wait in line. These things go on sale like 2 weeks before, and you had to wait in line in the rain to get tickets.
You
'Cause if
could
not,
possibly not
yes,
get tickets.
Yes,
How is
You've
that
got to
possible?
be kidding me.
They'll
Yeah,
give-
that's not possible.
they'll reserve 2 for parents. But
Oh, well, There's your out for Annie Russell. What are you doing?
Well, you gotta have your grandparents there. And everything.
oh my God.
Dude, I had the mother-in-law, father. I had Marge and Paul. I had Bill and Cheryl there.
Nice.
It was something, man. Then we went back to my house and some of the conversation, dude. Turns out yesterday, Marge and Paul were going out to their other grandson's baseball game.
Yeah.
Marge called the police for directions.
Wait a second. Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold
She
on.
called 911 or did
She's
she
like,
call?
I didn't call the emergency number. I called
Oh,
the
that
police.
makes it right, Marge. Why would you ever call the police for? What do the police say when you
Dude,
call for
she-
directions?
She called the Hamburg police. Apparently, they weren't open on the weekend, which struck her as hilarious.
Yeah.
So she called the library on her smartphone.
Okay. That's the most retarded. Does she know what a smartphone is? Is she too dim to not know what a smartphone
She does know what it. I don't know what happened there. There's a glitch there. But I will say this: every time she sees my boys, she makes them fix her phone. You know, like
Yeah.
there's numbers on here. There's things popping up. Fix that.
Can
And
you
they're like,
just
yeah,
show
it's
her
an update.
where the Google Maps thing is, and just
No,
like type
you know
in
what? My mom-
literally, Marge, any location on the planet.
Yeah.
Just type it in and hit go, and it
Yeah.
will take you from where you are to there.
We'll find the pyramids.
Yeah.
Dude, my mom couldn't do it. If I were to tell you right now, Mom, go find, we're in Detroit, find me how to
Yeah.
get to Eastern Market. My mom couldn't do it.
Well,
Terrible.
that's inexcusable.
It's just a fear. I think it's a fear. Like, oh, I'm gonna mess this thing up. It's
Yeah.
just easier to call the police.
The
What does
calls,
the library say?
The calls the police must get on a daily basis from just people that thought they saw something
Yeah,
fishy walking
dude.
down the street to I need directions somewhere. There's a cat in a tree.
I know.
Like they must just field calls all day of just like, oh my God.
Protect and serve, man.
Yeah.
That would fall under
Yeah.
serve. The library lady gave her the directions. Turns out the library was right next to the field, so she parked and went inside and thanked the lady.
Oh, sweet. Oh, Marge.
Yeah, that was my day, dude.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Isis, good weekend?
Yes, it was a good weekend. I went
Yeah?
to Tiger.
Yes, it was a good
I don't know. I
weekend.
never know how to like.
You could just say yes.
Yeah, it was great.
Yep, and what'd I do?
I went to the Tiger game.
Yeah.
Went to the Tiger game on Saturday. Our listener that hooks us up once a year with Tiger tickets, so we had really good seats. And I brought this friend from Grand Rapids. He's never been to a Tiger game before. He's originally from Texas. He's kind of moved around with his family, so he's only in Grand Rapids for 2 years. So he's never been to Detroit.
Yeah, it must have been cool for him.
It was actually. I was telling you we did this new bike sharing thing at Mogo, I guess it's called.
Yeah.
Where you pay to essentially rent a bike for the day.
You heard of this, Miguel?
I've seen this in other cities. I know
Yeah.
in Denver this is really popular.
I did
It's the
Toronto.
one where they've got like a giant
kiosk.
bike rack. Yeah, and you can just pull a bike out and rent it by the hour or
Yeah.
something.
Jay, you're wondering what the bike.
I've never done it, but I've seen it.
Yeah, very stylish bikes.
Oh, yeah.
They actually are. I mean, relatively.
It is what it is.
So
Yeah,
where
it's not
do
gonna
you
be-
you pick them up somewhere downtown and then you ride them to the game?
I mean, we parked in Greektown. He hadn't, like I said, he hadn't been to Detroit before, so I kind of told him, hey, if you get down early, we could show you around. It's starting to be kind of cool down here. And then I thought about like, oh my God, I saw these things last week. Why don't we try this? Because it just to see a lot of stuff and to walk, it would just take a lot of time.
Yeah, if you want to show them the old Tiger Stadium site and then
Right.
also show them Eastern Market, that's a problem.
Right, show them, Old Tiger Stadium, the Joe. We went to,
Midtown.
Midtown.
You know
all
they
the-
have cabs and stuff though, right? And Ubers. And...
Do you know how much that would be
Dude.
every time? And are you serious, dude? You're gonna pay $5 to go to the Old Tiger Stadium, then wait, and then pay $5 to go to Riverfront?
I don't want to ride a bike. Ugh,
Well,
a lot of work.
Is
most,
the People Mover still running?
Yeah, what's wrong with the people mover?
well, some people, Mike, enjoy being active and like seeing the city on a different level.
So I've heard. Yes.
No, dude, it
I hate
was-
those people.
It was fucking awesome, to be honest with you. Like, it was $8. The only negative was I was saying that you have to you have to do this in half-hour increments, I guess. You get unlimited half-hour increments in a 24-hour period. So you have to
It's weird.
It is kind of.
Well, I am a little confused on the pricing because it says it's $4 for another half-hour period. If you extend it to an hour, it's
Hold
$4.
on. You walk up to it, you pay $8 with your credit card,
Right.
you get a bike out of this rack. It
Right.
unlocks one for you. You get a
Yes.
little code.
Yes.
So you go ride for a half hour. You have to find another kiosk to
Within
plug
a half an hour.
plug it back into, kind of like, hey, I'm returning within
Right.
a half hour. Boom. It
Yes.
registers as you returned it. If you don't get there within a half hour, you have to pay $4.
Well, that's where I'm a little confused at because it says it's $4 for another half hour. I don't understand if you go 40 minutes. Is it $1? Is the pricing relative?
No, they're probably
to-
going to charge you for 30. So every half hour costs you $4?
No.
No.
It costs you $8 for the day, as long as you're returning this bike to another of the 43 kiosks.
Every 4.
That's a racket, dude.
It
That's a
was-
racket.
no, it
because
was not.
Yes, because if you go kick around for 35 minutes, now they're going to charge you another $4.
I'd have to look
Why?
at it. 'cause I
Why
swear to
else would
God,
they
I
do
don't-
that except for a money grab?
No,
I mean, if you
that's
take
not
it,
why
you
they
have
do
it for the day, and it's like as long as you have it back by dusk.
No. I will say I wish it was like more like 45 minutes. Even it doesn't even need to be an hour. 45 minutes would be perfect to me. That's not what it is, though. The real thing I believe is totally they need people returning these bikes in different locations. They cannot if they just told you could take a bike for $8 and it was for the day, dude. Nobody would turn it would be turning it in. You would just keep it, so all the kiosks would be empty. Like,
so
once
they
people
need
get
you
there-
to ride up and return yours. What if you want it back, though?
You can just get your bike back.
Well, then that person waiting for one, that defeats the purpose that you just
I didn't
described.
come up with the company. You know what I mean? Like,
Jesus.
Well, you're going to bat for it.
I will tell you, it says on the thing that if you go to a stop, it will give you extended time if there's no bikes in the rack. But you know what? There's, like Jay said, there's 43 things. They're spread out pretty evenly through downtown Detroit, up through Midtown,
Midtown, even to Mexican Town.
to Mexican
and
Town,
over by Belle Isle.
and over by Belle
Yeah, I
Isle.
was
Dude,
gonna say, they've got to
love
have a
this
lot.
idea.
They've
I
got to have
love
a-
this idea.
Dude, we didn't
They
have,
better have a lot of kiosks though.
Well,
That's-
43.
43.
I mean, 43.
yeah.
And I'll tell you this: we were there on a Saturday in the middle of the day in a summer. Now we're in June. You know, as busy as a time as we could be there, and it was nice out. And we never had an issue with an empty rack, and we never had an issue making the 30 minutes. Honestly, we never did. Now, what we kind of did is when we went on longer ones, like when I went to Old Tiger Stadium up Michigan Avenue, that was a little bit of a longer venture. So the minute we saw a kiosk, we just boom, exchange it,
Yeah.
and then
Got
so
a
if
new
we
one,
saw
yeah.
one, just kind of hey, just for safety, let's just boom. But you could have parked those things, man, and go get food. Like we did it. We went to the game, parked it across the stadium, went to the whole game, and then afterwards we had a few hours of daylight left because we're in
Grabbed
June
another
here,
one.
and grabbed another one and went to Midtown and
That's
back.
cool. Very
Yeah.
cool.
It was
and
badass.
the queue
there.
line was going up and down.
The queue
and
line
everything?
was going up and down,
Wow.
dude. I know I said it last week when I went to Movement, how like the feeling around Detroit is just getting so much better, dude. But doing these bikes with my buddy who hadn't been to Detroit before on a Saturday and it was nice out,
He was impressed.
it was fucking awesome, dude. He said it was one of the more fun days he's had in a long time.
And he spent it with you. That says a lot.
That's true.
Yeah.
You're right. Even despite hanging out with me, it offset how fun it was.
Did you find he remained like 15 feet in front of you the whole time?
Well, I will say this dude is a pretty good. He was a in shape
Dude,
biker,
wait-
man. He was
wait up
kicking
for me,
some.
dude. Wait up, dude.
He was hauling some balls a few
Yeah.
different times.
No, it's very cool to see this sort of stuff in Detroit. Like you go to, I was recently in Denver, and you see a lot of this type of stuff in these areas. Or San Francisco, it's everywhere. They've got go karts, which you know how much I love a go kart.
Yeah.
But they give you go karts for a price for the day, and they're these little carts, and they're whipping through the city, and they got
Yeah.
little flags on them.
That's
and
awesome.
It's like, oh, I'm going up to this point, to see this thing.
That's badass.
Yeah, and they're just little 2-seat, little go karts.
No, what shit like this means is people are interacting with the city.
Yeah, yeah,
right.
yeah.
An old, and we had a lot of people because they're very new. So I had a lot of people asking us about them, or like we'd ride by and you'd even hear someone say, "Oh, those guys are doing the bikes." And there was even like an older.
Nice observation.
Well,
Those guys are doing the bikes.
well, no, but it was
Yes,
kind of like
we are.
It's pretty new. So no, but there was even this
He's an
older.
early adopter. He's
Yeah.
an early adopter.
There was this older guy that was asking us, and when I say older, I mean 60s, maybe even a little more in that range, 60s to 70s. And he was
Doesn't
even,
matter. Go
and
ahead.
he was even like, "Man, this is really cool," because he's like, you know what? They wouldn't do this if the company couldn't trust that these bikes would be okay. And yes, you put your credit card down, and if you steal one, they charge you. But dude, if they were getting them, if they thought they were going to get robbed every day, it still wouldn't be worth it.
Oh,
Even
this
if you're
is
getting,
tried and true. These things are, like Mike says, this has been going on for probably a couple decades. Honestly.
in
Yeah,
other
in real
real
cities.
cities.
Yeah.
When you go to a real
Well,
city, this is what you see.
You've done it. You know what though? You've had bike rentals for a long time. You're right about that. But with technology now being how it is, and you can just do your credit card, and it's a lot easier. Like you slide those bikes into the charger, and it's boom, you're in, you're out.
Dude, I worked down there for a while, and I had to walk maybe 5-6 blocks at times to park.
Where
'cause
were you at? The Federal Building or
I was
something?
at the First Federal Building, and I
Yeah.
was in the New Center area.
Okay.
And so if there were various times where I got moved parking decks and shit, and you'd be moved pretty far. And back then, man, it was a pretty sketchy walk, a few blocks.
Yeah.
And had I had something like that, like a monthly pass or something, I totally would have done that. Parked my car,
Yeah.
jumped on one of those, and zipped to work.
Looks like it's $80 for the year.
Yeah.
For the
It's
year.
like 18 for the month.
18 for a month. Yeah, I mean, and 8
Yeah, and
for
if
the
you
day.
work down there, that'd be
Yeah.
perfect.
Or if you lived in Midtown, worked,
Yeah.
at the Ren Center or something.
Yeah.
And like I said,
Do they have GPS on them?
no, but the
It looked like there was a screen or something on the front.
no,
of it,
that's just like I think it's an advertising like Hap. It looks like an Hap and God, Henry Ford, I think, are sponsors of it, kind of. But dude, it was just really awesome, dude. There's on Riverwalk on the river. There's a thing over there now, and it's been there for a little bit now. I know this isn't new, but there's like an eatery like where they sell like hot dogs and pizza and stuff, and we got some food and shit. And it helped that the day was nice too. But it was seeing the city, even for me who's been going down there recently, seeing the city on that form was really cool.
Would be a neat way to see it. Hey, speaking of sponsors, Zott Ford and Holly has a phenomenal opportunity. They're currently accepting applications for all levels of auto technicians, A-techs, B-techs, lube techs. It's kind of, I would put E in the lube tech category.
For sure. No doubt about
Diesel, trans, even Ford Senior Master Certified techs. With their freshly renovated and expanded state-of-the-art service department, they need top caliber techs looking for a world-class culture with industry-leading wages and perks. If this is you, go to ZottFord.com and click on careers, or stop by and see our friend Steve Gabara.
it. Speaking of lube, it is your month, E.
What do you mean?
Gay Pride.
Oh,
Gay Pride Month. June. Congratulations.
I don't know what that. You're right. I'm very happy that people are out there supporting.
I knew
gay
you would
pride,
be. That's why I
guess.
brought
don't
it
know.
up.
Just like I'm sure that you are, Mike.
I am.
Not as
I'm
happy
you
as
and your
you.
people. You guys were not the only ones that were active this weekend. I not only had the puppy to deal with, which is getting to be a handful. That thing is getting active quick. Yes. Little bear.
Can't keep it in the box anymore.
Nope. One will be in the box. And you don't have to massage the vagine anymore for
good.
peeing, so it pees on its own now, which is a whole nother
So
thing.
stop massaging the vagine. Mike.
Don't touch the vagine or the buttocks.
Okay.
Leave them alone now. But I ventured. I went on a venture myself. I went out to Royal Oak over the
wow.
weekend. Yes, for the Princess Bride showing at the Royal Oak Music Theater.
Beth is a huge fan.
Yep, sure is. And there was a not a full house. I guess they didn't have people in the balcony of the Royal Oak Music Theater, but all the rest was pretty filled in with a lot of chicks that love that movie.
People dressed up as shit and everything.
I did see some cosplay. There were a couple chicks I saw dressed up as I think they were trying to be a princess of
Did
sorts.
they look like a princess
No,
physically?
no, not really. But they were dressing the part and having fun. It's so funny. It kind of reminded me a little bit of what was that movie that the girls really got into when we were in high school, where they throw toast at the screen and
Rocky Horror.
yeah, it was kind of like that, where they're all like yelling out lines and clapping at famous, like one-liners in the movie.
So you're watching the movie? It's not a play?
Oh, it was more than that. It was. They showed the movie, and then as a special
Q&A.
guest there, they had a Q&A with well, the guy Cam from 89X, or Cal. Is it Cal from
Cal,
89X?
yeah.
Cal was there hosting it. Did a good job. He was fine. Seems like a nice enough guy. And they had Carrie Elwes. How do you say that name? It's at the top there. He's a special guest. Carrie Elwes.
Carrie Elwes.
Elwes.
Yeah?
Carrie Elwes.
Who did she play?
That's a guy.
Oh.
And Carrie is
Sorry,
the
Mr.
hunk.
Elwes.
Yes, Carrie is the hunk in the movie.
Oh.
That's going after the princess, who's played by Robin Wright, who people will know as the lead, the wife in House of Cards, which is killing it right now. She used to be Robin
Janie?
Wright Penn.
She was Janie in Forrest Gump.
Was she really?
Yeah.
And she was married to Sean Penn for a
Indeed.
while. Yeah. But she was young. I think this was her first movie, actually. But boy, did they love that. And then Carrie came out, and the chicks were just swooning. And
Was he still hot, Mike?
yeah, he's held it together rather well. I don't know when that movie's from. Young Fred Savage is in it, probably just before he got the part or right after he got the part on Wonder Years.
Really?
Yeah.
It's hard to tell. He's looked the same for 30 years.
Yeah. Isn't he part of that show that you guys love? You and me
Yeah,
love?
Always Sunny.
Yeah.
He's produced several of those.
Yeah. So he's made quite a career for himself, but he's just a little kid.
Just a wisp of a man.
Yeah, for sure. So that was fun, and then went to the restaurant next door, that sushi place next door to the Royal Oak Music Theater, and had some dinner over there.
Very
And-
good.
Yeah, so it was nice. It was a nice night out in this awesome summer-like weather we've been having. Yeah, there he is.
There he is, dashing.
And he gets the girl in the end. Spoiler alert. It was actually pretty funny. They were like, "Has anyone not seen this movie?" And I'm like,
anybody that admitted to
"Yeah."
it?
Like I raised my hand and people literally laughed out loud.
Really?
They were laughing out loud at me. And Beth's like, "Put your hand on. You've seen it." I'm like, "No, you showed me like half of it and I fell asleep. That doesn't count as seeing this movie. I've never really seen this movie."
Speaking of that, dude, last night I was excited to show my boys Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah.
And we got started a little bit late, and it's a long movie. I think it's 2:20, something like that.
Yeah.
Those sons of bitches fell asleep halfway through.
What?
Yeah, I had to explain the whole thing to them this morning.
Dude, Shawshank's a great movie.
I know. But
Does it
I
hold
did-
up for them?
I did get to yeah, totally. I mean, it's a timeless tale. But the thing is it's pretty slow, pretty quiet. It's one that you could kind of doze off to.
Not at that age. At that age, like that's what your wife does. That's my biggest bitch when I'm with Beth and it's like, "Oh, let's watch this." And 10 minutes in, I'm awake. And I'm like,
Yeah.
"Fuck, no, you're not. No, you're not awake."
Neither of them sons of bitches though stayed up to see the payoff.
Really?
Dude, he got out, right? Oh, really? How?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, wouldn't you like to know? It was gross.
Sorry, everyone who
Yeah. Spoiler
seen
alert. Anyway, rather exciting weekend as well. When you talk politically, the world almost exploded when Trump pulled out of the Paris Accord on climate change, and I thought literally the cable networks were going to explode. Like, apparently we don't lead the world anymore in anything. It was hilarious.
tailor-made for a negative soundbite against him.
Yeah.
Oh, he doesn't care about the world. Look at this.
Oh my God! Well, it's sorry to say that America is no longer the leader in the world as we pulled out of. I mean,
Yeah.
everyone,
And to the uninformed, it's like, oh yeah, that doesn't make sense that we wouldn't care about the environment.
Yeah, yeah. And you don't know what to believe half the time. That's half of our bitch about this stuff. But it was just so funny seeing the absolute meltdown on one
Yeah.
side, and the whole time you're going, well, what is it? What is this thing that's unenforceable? There's no penalty to being in it, not being in it. Like, what's the argument for this? And it's like nobody cared to talk about that. It was strictly Donald Trump doesn't care about the environment. He doesn't care about anything. The world's going to explode, and it's his fault. Your grandkids' hay fever is going to be worse now. Their allergies are going to be worse. and we're no longer a leader in the world. And I'm just like, okay, stop, enough. I get it. And then the world was still melting down about Kathy Griffin and Bill Maher, which was hilarious to me. All these people freaking out. It just, again, it shows you how right the terrorists are in a lot of ways. Where it's like, what are we fixated on? What are we?
Dude, that Kathy Griffin thing, absolute clownery.
Clownery.
I had no idea she was that big a clown. I watched like 5 to 8 minutes of that press conference she called.
Oh.
Number one, why the fuck do you need a lawyer to call a press conference? What kind of idiot are you?
I think the reason is because, the Secret Service is coming after her. And so we need a lawyer. We need Gloria
Allred's daughter.
Lisa Bloom, who's there. Her and her mom are just comical.
Yeah.
Like anytime there's some Hollywood idiot in trouble for something,
Get in front of the cameras.
they're front and center, plaster you in front of the cameras. I saw there's whole worlds of people that are just like damage control. That's their whole role in Hollywood, is to take someone who's done something dumb.
PR experts.
Yes, they're experts, and they go, okay, fuck, my client got a DUI. How do we spin this? And their decisions are, when do you put someone in front of a camera or in front of let them do an interview.
Very carefully
Yeah.
narrated exactly what to say when.
Right.
And how do we dole this out to the media?
To control damage.
Yeah.
It's a lot like you, Jay, when you talk about being a lawyer, and it's like, well, it's not fair to judge a lawyer on this case. You're the way you put it a lot of times is you're walking into an already set chessboard,
Right.
and asked to play. And it's a lot like that with these people. Like, okay, the scandals happened. Here's the chessboard I'm dealing with. Now, how do we best go forward with
Do the
this?
best for your client.
Right. And if that means, okay, you're going into seclusion for 6 months, and let's let the world forget about you. And then, America loves a comeback story. Whoever told Kathy Griffin that it was a good idea to go in front of the cameras this weekend and do whatever that was should be fired. Dude, that was, honestly, I'm not even kidding. I tweeted about this at one point or Facebooked about it. I was like, all these people talk about Kathy Griffin not being funny. That might have been the funniest thing I've seen in 3 years.
That was unreal. But, dude, contrary to your point, I have heard people say that was a great move by her. She has postured Trump as the bully, and turned the whole thing around. Huge success.
Okay. She blamed Whitey, like this clownish, weird-looking white woman comedian blamed Donald Trump. She blamed white men. She blamed misogyny. And it's like, all I can think of with her is when you do something shocking, whether you're a comedian or you're an actor or you're a talk show host, if you're going for that shock value, there's nothing wrong with that. You can do that, but you have to understand the game. And when you do something like holding up Donald Trump's bloody head, you're going for a reaction. Here's the key, though. You don't get to tell people what their reaction's going to be. Their reaction is what their reaction is, and it came back and bit you in the ass. Sorry. So
And is it ever appropriate to make a death threat against someone like that? Of course not.
No.
But how can you be surprised in this environment when you hold something up that very arguably is threatening to our president?
Yeah.
That his followers aren't then going to react in the Twitter sphere and
Of course
otherwise
they are.
very violently and vilely.
Yeah.
She acts like, well, I said I'm sorry. What do you want?
Yeah.
Dude, you can't just do whatever you want, say you're sorry, and then think it's going to be a clean slate.
Yeah.
It
doesn't work like that.
It's simple. You learn that when you're 2 years old.
Yeah. And for someone like her, like, I get it. I cut comedians so much slack, and we'll talk about it in a minute with Bill Maher, another one. I cut them so much slack, but you got to be willing to stand up for what you're doing. Like, if you decide to go down that road, you're better off going, you know what, go fuck yourselves, man. It's an art piece, whatever. And then go away for 3 months.
Yeah, and for somebody who postures herself as this shock comedian, like she's been doing over the last week, well, that's what I do. I draw a line and then I step over the line.
Right.
Like, wow, you just fucking pussed out on this then. Because she should have done exactly what you said. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah,
That's what
I do.
Free speech.
Yep. And you have to be willing to lose. Her whole tour kit was canceled. I think she had 7 or 8 dates left, and all of them bailed. And that's, we see that every time. Once the first domino goes, then the rest of them run the risk of, oh, do you not think it's that serious? Why wouldn't you follow suit? Like, and they don't need that shit. It's like, not for Kathy Griffin. Forget it.
Right.
Fold it. Fold the tent. Forget it. Her career is not over. She can come back and do whatever. But go underground for 3 months. Go away.
Does she have discernible talent, though? That's the thing about her. Like, Madonna can say, oh, I think about blowing up the White House. Well, she's got a track record. She's successful. She can do things. She gets forgiven. But Kathy Griffin, to me, is like, and I know she calls it herself a D-lister. She's beyond that. She just doesn't, the whole time she's up there, I'm a comedian. Oh my gosh, I'm so nervous, you guys. So I'm probably going to start making jokes. And then she starts fumbling around about Trump's hair.
Yeah.
It's like a nest. I think I saw eggs in there.
The joke I made flew right over his nest. Oh,
Yeah.
a Trump hair joke. Hilarious.
So up there just killing it.
Yeah, I think, what did she do? Suddenly Susan, was that? I think she was on some sitcoms
I
in
honestly-
the 90s.
Yeah, I looked it up when we were.
and
talking
I think
about
she
it
did
last
guest appearances, like, oh, she was in a Seinfeld episode.
A bunch of
then-
one-offs.
then
A bunch of one-offs.
Come
for
back
sure.
to that then, sure.
Right.
I guess. I've never understood her talent or the draw to her.
Well, I don't like what we're seeing right now is comedians who are not able to like do what they do your art, be funny, and not make it political. We're seeing it with all these guys. I actually made myself watch Sarah Silverman's new stand-up, and I was absolutely ready for, like, this is going to be a disaster. This is going to be one big preaching session about what an asshole Trump was, and I was pleasantly surprised that for the most part she was funny. She just did stand-up shit. It was like, all right, fine, like, great, good for you. But people like Kathy Griffin can't do that. And it's like, well, what do you expect? You know that half the country disagrees with you completely and is going to send you death threats. That's part of the game. That's part of what happens. And, this crying, he broke me. I'll admit it. He broke me. It's like, Donald Trump broke you. All he said was, like, he didn't even say anything. He just reacted to it.
Yeah.
Not in the history of this great country has anyone gone after. Oh, really? Tell that to Kathleen Willey or any of the women that blew Bill Clinton, God forbid. They went after them with pitchforks. What are you talking about? He just tweeted, inappropriate, you scared my son.
Right.
Like my 10-year-old, 11-year-old son, which is probably true. I mean,
And the fact that his minions have declared war on her, like, what the fuck did you expect? These people are passionate.
Yeah.
And you really, really, really offended him.
Yeah.
And arguably, again, made a very, very threatening picture. That was vulgar.
Yeah.
That was vile. That was a really awful picture, man.
And
that
it-
wasn't just a joke. That was you holding up a severed head
Yeah.
with blood dripping off it.
And it wasn't lost on people with, when you talk about the global terrorism thing, beheading is what is being done. And so it was a symbol of that. I mean, there was a lot there that people went, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
It just reminds me of the whole Dixie Chicks thing, where it's this ignorant thing where, well, I can say whatever I want. It's free speech. Well, sure, you can, and you're not going to be arrested for it. However, there are going to be consequences. We all understand that by now, and she seems not to. Or seems that, well, yeah, I get that there's totally get it, but I apologized. So the apology should wipe it clean, and we should move forward. No, ass.
Yeah. Well, I think
That's just words.
The apology, like, I don't give a shit about an apology. People, like, she knew what she was doing. That was planned. It was set up. She was talking about how, oh my God, we're going to have to move to Mexico. Like, she knew this is going to be an issue. So to come out afterwards and go, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like, whatever. You did something shocking. You got a reaction. Now go away. And I had no problem with that. I didn't want her to lose Squatty Potty as a sponsor. I didn't want her to lose gigs. I don't ever want to call for people's jobs. That's me personally. I know I'm there's plenty of people who do, and that's your right. But for her to do that press conference this weekend, that's where I was like, okay, go fuck yourself. You're really going to blame white men? You're going to blame Trump for this? Somehow this is spun into Trump's fault now? Fuck you. Sorry. Doesn't work like that. And then Bill Maher, another one that loves to razz people up, said the N-word, God forbid, on his show. I don't know if you saw that.
This was not planned, right? This was an off-the-cuff kind of improv reaction to what a senator said or a congressman said?
Ben Sasse from wherever he's a Republican senator, and we've got it here. And, yeah, this is a live show. So this happens live. Let me play it for you here. Sorry if people are offended by this. But.
The Nebraska more. You're welcome. We'd love to have you work in the fields with us. Work in the field? That's part of that. That's Senator. I'm a house nigga. No, it's the show.
There you go. And boy, the threats, the arrows being slung at him. And he's finally come out and apologized for that remark. He got caught up in the banter of the live moment. He caused widespread outrage when he used the racial slur. And Sasse has come out now, and he doesn't feel heated enough in the moment.
That's awesome. That's who I was just thinking of watching that. I'm watching his face. Like,
his reaction.
You're smiling too much, dude. You're smiling too much.
So he's doing that. I think you brought this up first, and I love this, Jay, about what social media is. It's the woman who goes, oh my God, I ran into this guy on the street. He was a fucking asshole. He was staring at my tits and blah, 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 blah. And how did you word it about how this gives them the opportunity to say the thing they didn't say in the moment?
Yeah, I don't remember how I originally worded it, but that's exactly right. You have the time to stew on it and go, God, I wish I would have said that. And then boom, you type it in, and it's the reaction you wish you would have had.
It's the do-over, maybe you call it, like that instant, ooh, because we've all had that moment walking away going, oh, fuck, I should have said this. Oh, I would have burned him in your face if I would have just said this in the moment.
But now I can go sit down on my computer, grab my phone, and I can say exactly that.
And I can proofread it, and I can reword it, and I can make it perfect and make me the hero. And we love doing that, going on Facebook and doing that. And so Ben Sasse's no different. He wasn't sassy enough in the moment to come back, but
nice.
God.
See what I did there?
Yeah, I think we all saw what you did there.
So he came out and said, what I should have said in that moment was, I'm a First Amendment absolutist. Comedians get latitude to cross hard lines, but free speech comes with a responsibility to speak up when folks use that word. My just cringing last night was not good enough. Here's what I wish I'd been quick enough to say in the moment.
Oh my God.
So here's what he wished he would
Fucking
have said.
politicians. God damn them.
Hold up, Bill. Hold up. Why would you think it's okay to use that word? The history of the N-word is an attack on universal human dignity. It's therefore an attack on the American creed. Don't use it.
Oh,
So that's what the politician Ben
that's
Sasse.
what he wished he would have said when
Yeah.
when a PR person told him what he should have said, right?
Now, he probably thought of that on his own, but, in the moment, it's like, you chuckle along with it. HBO issued a statement slamming this as inexcusable and tasteless comments. Friday night's Bill Maher, then what he said like 17 hours later, so people are now like, oh, he didn't apologize fast enough. Friday nights are always my worst night of sleep because I'm up reflecting on the things I should or shouldn't have said on my live show. Last night was particularly a long night as I regret the word I used in the banter of a live moment. The word was offensive, and I regret saying it, and I'm very sorry. And then, of course, you've got all the people. Bill Maher's got to go. He should be fired. You know, unbelievable that he would say such a word. I can't believe it in this day and age. What was he thinking? Blah, 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 blah. They all want his head. They want him fired. You know, and to me, I'm like, it was a joke. It was a dumb joke. Clearly, it was a joke, though. You know the difference between, and this is where the political lines bother me, because it's like if you're on the right, you automatically hate anything Bill Maher says. You just do. You don't like him. Or if you're someone who disagrees with his religious views, or if you disagree with all his Islamophobic stuff, it's an opportunity then to go, this is an outrage. I am outraged by this. And so we get into this pissing match where it's like, it's not really that you hate this thing necessarily. It's that you don't agree with him. It is. And I really don't like that. I personally, and I know.
I personally really don't like that word, though. You'll never hear me use it. And that bothers me.
Yeah.
I get it. I mean, I get the whole joke and comedian thing, but I don't know if I'd call for his job, but I don't know. That bothers me.
I look at it like this. Like when you're doing a live show, when you're doing a show, whether it's a small scale like ours, or you're doing something like Bill Maher, or you're on a stage as a stand-up, like your job is to push the envelope. If you want people to listen to you, and if you want to have those things that people remember, you want to have a good take on something, well, you're always tiptoeing up to the line on something. You are. And we've said it before. There are moments where I wish I could take something back. You know, whether it's a rape joke that went too far or a racial thing that went too far. You just are. You do.
Rape jokes.
What's that?
Those darn rape jokes.
I know. They'll bite you every time.
Here's the thing that I think saves him, though, in my mind, and big time, is that it is a bigly save, is that it was an improv moment. It wasn't him writing a monologue with that in it. But the guy threw that at him, and you and I have been in those situations, and you go ahead and say it.
Yeah.
Because you know it's going to be funny, and then, like, fuck. Should I use Mongoloid in that context? I don't know.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, here's the thing that gets me, though, because we keep doing this where we take something and go, oh, my God, destroy his career, and end the show. He's got to be fired. Fucking fired. Well, what happens when you do that is you make people that are really leaders in pushing the envelope on stuff. And comedians play an important role in society. I really believe that. They tear down walls with politicians speak. Comedians can come out strong and hard and make you think about something that you didn't think about. The good ones, the Dave Chappelles, the Louis C.K.'s, who can, and going back to the Pryors and the Kinnisons, who can speak for a generation and point out the absurdity in things. And so they serve an important role. And I don't ever, ever, ever want my comedians to second guess where they're going with something because of a faux outrage on Twitter that's going to then cost them their career. You know what I mean? Like, I want Louis C.K. to go for the N-word joke that he did a few years ago where he was blasting talking heads or news people for saying the N-word.
Because it makes him think of the word.
Yeah, and he said, not nigger, I mean the N-word, saying N-word. Because you know what you're doing, you're making me think it. And then I say it, and it's like, no, well, you have the balls to say it. If you're going to say it, fucking say it.
Don't make me think it.
It's a brilliant, brilliant comedy piece. And I don't ever want them to not do those pieces because they're worried about, ending their career. Things like that. You know what I'm saying?
And moreover, this is an HBO show, right? So
Yeah.
this is a paid network.
Sure.
This isn't on just regular network TV where any kid can come upon it. I know those lines are blurred now. I know things are clipped and put
Especially
everywhere.
with HBO Go and stuff like that.
Yeah, everything's put everywhere. But I think that does make a difference, too. I think you get more leeway. You're not on some vanilla show. Everybody knows his show pushes the envelope.
And it's important for the history of comedians like the Bill Hicks of the world who were banned from stages and banned from performing because they were so outrageous. You look at them now and you go, Bill Hicks is fucking PG compared to some of the stuff, but it took those guys breaking down those walls and getting past the guy that made goofy faces to make people laugh to get to the social commentary that you have today. And I'm not saying there's any social commentary or plus to what Bill Maher said. Not the least. I just don't want to get to that point where we do that to those people where they have to pull back for fear of retribution. And I can't help but feel like, oh, I see what this is. This is now an opportunity for the right to zing a bunch of arrows at a guy they don't like because they don't like his political views.
At the same time, though, when you're working in big corporate America, you got to understand that some advertisers aren't going to be okay with that. They aren't going to be okay with the response from the public.
But there are no advertisers with HBO.
Well, just like I'm just likening it to something we do. If we do something that just is going to make somebody uncomfortable, then we understand that we might not have them next time.
Right.
They're going to leave, and
yeah,
show's not for everybody.
It's very true.
But HBO, the subscribers are the source of money, and they have to understand that if he's going to say shit like that, well, they might be losing some subscribers.
Yeah. And I would hope that they would be willing to stand up for that. I know his other show, what was it, Politically Incorrect?
Yeah.
He was fired from that show.
I thought that's what this was.
No, this is
Real Time with Bill Maher?
Real Time with Bill Maher. Yeah.
They're both on HBO?
I thought the one was on like ABC or something, but maybe I'm wrong.
Well, look it up. You've got a Google machine in front of you because I was thinking it was HBO too. But he was fired from that one. Do you remember why? Shortly after 9/11 is what happened there.
I don't.
He, let's see, it was back in 2001 in the wake of the September 11 attacks. And everybody in the media had been talking about what cowards the people that flew those planes into buildings were. Just cowards taking innocent lives like that. And Bill Maher went up, and granted, this is in the weeks following 9/11. People didn't want to hear it. But he had the balls, and I'll say that, I understand it's going to offend some people, but he went out and he was like, cowards? He's like, he said, we've been more cowardly lobbing cruise missiles from 2,000 miles away. That's more cowardly. Staying in the airplane when it hits the building. Say what you want about it, but that's not cowardly. And it was a fair point. I don't agree with him about lobbing missiles and all that shit, but that's a pretty ballsy move to sit in the cockpit as it flies into a building. Cowardly is probably not the right word, but he was shit canned for that. He's also gotten himself in trouble, and people wanted his head here as well. Are you familiar with Malik Zion? I think that's his name.
No.
Or Zion Malik. He's one of the guys in the boy band One Direction or something.
Okay, yeah.
And he joked that the singer looked like Zhokov Zarnev, the Boston bomber. And he said, just tell me two things, Zion. Which one in the band were you, and where were you during the Boston Marathon? Okay.
You got fired for that?
No, but outrage. Outrage.
What?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
He appeared on Jimmy Kimmel's show to talk about his the Charlie Hebdo terror attacks in January 2015. I know most Muslim people would not have carried out an attack like this, but here's the important point. Hundreds of millions of them support an attack like this. They applaud an attack like this. What they say is, we don't approve of violence, but you know what? When you make fun of the prophet, all bets are off. He was also slammed for being sexist when he accused Hillary Clinton of crying back previous election, not this last one, to get what she wanted. I'm not being sexist. I'm just saying that men, when we argue, we're kind of a one-trick pony. We try our thing, and then we sulk when we don't get our way. But look at Hillary. The first thing a woman does, of course, is cry, and then they go to sweet talking, and then they throw an anger fit, totally unrelated to anything. And when it doesn't work, they bring out the sarcasm. So his balls were busted for that. And I remember not long ago he had Milo Yiannopoulos on his show too, and he took tremendous heat from that because people thought he wasn't mean enough to Milo. He should have attacked Milo harder. Instead, he kind of befriended him.
You're on our team, Bill.
Oh,
come
my
on.
God. What's going on?
Huge atheist. That's his thing, right?
Yeah. Yeah, he did that movie. I can't remember what the name of it was. He did someone we went all over the world, like to different religious.
Ripping on religions.
Yeah, or trying to get. Yeah, yeah. And he's big time against like Islam too. He's been attacked without mercy for that. For like, dude, it is what it is. These people do not agree. Like, it will never fit in the West. It's just a different thing. Did you find where Politically Incorrect was?
So is he going to survive this, you think?
I think so. I mean, he apologized. I guess that's important to people. I don't know.
He's doing all the right things.
I know if you're on the right, you don't give a fuck what he says. Like, his show is brutal. It is start to finish, Trump is Satan. That's it. So I get it, why people want him out. But I don't know. I'm standing up for the comedy aspect of it, not his political opinion. Could give a shit about his political opinion. And then also over the weekend we had another terrorist attack. What a shock over there in London.
Yep.
7. I heard 7. I heard 8 dead.
Yeah, and their alert after the bombing in Manchester, what was it? It was imminent, right? Something was imminent, and then they downgraded that to very probable or whatever it is.
Severe from
So, yeah,
critical.
They
or something.
they knew from shit they collected, I'm sure, during those arrests that something was
Yeah.
in the works.
Well, another one of these where they went over London Bridge is falling down. They went over London Bridge and started running people over in a rented van, and then got to Borough Square or something. I'm not familiar with the area, but then they hopped out and they just started stabbing people. They had a 10-inch. One of them had a 10-inch blade. I don't know how big a 10-inch blade is.
It's about if you cut this in 3.
If you get that, it's about like that, right? It started stabbing someone in the face.
Dude.
Imagine taking a 10-inch blade in the face.
Damn, man, you stabbed me in the face.
Outside of Gab, does anyone want 10 inches of anything in their face? Seriously.
These things are just so non-preventable, too. Like,
Yeah.
what are you going to do? You're walking along a bridge.
They jump out and just start stabbing people, and then from start to finish, 8 minutes. The cops were there and took these fuckers down, but the damage is done.
You're willing to die. Shit.
Yeah.
It's impossible
know.
to stop.
Dude, those stabbing wounds, I don't know if you saw it. We never really talked about it, but the guy, I want to say he was in Portland, just a nut job. White guy. People used it as, well, this is Trump's America.
Is this the guy in the mall?
This
Went
is
on
a
the
guy.
stabbing spree in the mall.
Well, I thought it was on like a tram or something, or a train where he was pointing out some Muslim
yes,
girl.
this is just last week. Yep.
Yes, yeah, and then some guy stepped in like
3
dude,
guys, man. 3 guys stepped in and
I
went.
thought one of them was military too.
taken down to Chinatown by this dude.
And
That's why. Don't everybody freak out when a cop shoots a guy with a knife.
yeah,
Oh, he only had a knife. Well, a knife-wielding madman.
dude. Did you see? And it happened in a weird place where we weren't doing shows for a few days, and so it kind of passed. We never really talked about it, but they had him in court, and he was, this is what you deserve, Portland. Fuck the Christians, fuck the Jews, fuck. He's just a nut. He's a
Yeah.
nut job. But they had one of the victims in court who was stabbed but survived, went through some surgery, and I saw the stab wound of this guy, dude. It was it started here in his neck, curved around, went all the way down his chest. Like this guy just went like whoosh. It was the most gruesome fight, and it was like, I'd rather be shot to death.
Opens you up like a pig, too.
It was so brutal to see. And he's wearing like a suit in court, and you just see this what looks like a giant tattoo up his neck of this thing. It's like, imagine being in that train with that guy. He's stabbed. It's terrible. But yeah, I now they're all coming out. We're supposed to. I think we're supposed to hashtag London again, maybe.
Okay. I had the Union Jack behind my Twitter.
Yeah, I saw that. That's great. That'll be a big help. I'm glad you did that. Are we going to do lights out at any of our monuments or anything?
We should.
I think we should too. It was only 7 dead. Manchester was 22, and we did the lights out for that. So we should probably do some of those. Obviously, thoughts and prayers, that goes without saying. We're going to want to do some of that stuff to really help out. And the politicians are saying all the right, Theresa May, the prime minister, wait, the time has come to stop this. We need to end this, blah, blah, blah.
Sure.
And
She's up for election on Thursday.
yeah. And I don't know, dude. I'm getting to the point where I'm starting to feel like some of these like radical people that are like, okay, let's just round everyone up who might be on the fence and just throw them in a box until we can figure out what's going on. Like, seriously, man. I don't know.
It's sort of good timing for Trump's travel ban that's going up to the Supreme Court right now. I think he tweeted about that today or yesterday, too. Like, see?
Well,
I know.
Do we get to a point? Seriously, Jay, do we get to a point? I don't like internment camps like we did with the Japanese, where it's like, I don't know, man. You guys are doing some really wacky shit, so we're just gonna put you in a box over here till we can figure out what's going on. But dude, when they talk about, I was telling you, I've been reading Ali Soufan's book about Al Qaeda and how the day before 9/11 they had 400 members. 400 members. That's all Al Qaeda was on September 10th, 2001. And since then, when you talk about like Libya, 20,000 members and 5,000, like it's grown like a cancer. It's bigger, in his opinion, than Osama bin Laden in his wildest dreams could ever imagine his group could get. And so when you see that, it's like, Like we know what their goal is. Like this is all going on in Europe right now. We're seeing this in Stockholm and in London and in Sweden and everywhere else. But their goal is not there. Their goal is here. They just haven't figured out how yet to pull it off here on a regular basis. But that is the goal. Make no mistake about it. And so for people like me, I'm going, yeah, well, if we're even like some dude's at a mosque and he says something that's a little outrageous, can't we just like throw him in a hole somewhere until... Like, is that crazy? Am I an asshole for saying that? But I kind of feel like that. You know what I mean?
It's tough, man. We live in this free society, this free country, as it were, Mike, and it makes it tough.
Yeah.
Just like we've talked about many times with mental illness. Like, where's the line? Where do you start locking these people up and hospitalizing them?
What if we're really cool about it and we just like gave them their own island? We rounded them all up, put them on an island, and don't give them any technology. Let them start from scratch.
And it can be a big island.
A big one, yeah.
Would
Somewhere
Australia
nice.
be okay with just kind of moving out and we'll just...
I don't know if Australia.
I was going to say it worked with Australia. I mean, right? Like,
yeah, Australia doesn't fuck around. They've got an island offshore that it's like no.
but that's where
that's
where England used to send all the people, and it worked there. It's a great country now.
Yeah.
So see?
What about Cuba? Is that too close?
It's too close, Mike.
Too cose. Shit.
We need Hawaii.
We've got to have
Fuck
some.
yes, we need Hawaii.
Yeah, we need Hawaii.
Tasmania or some shit. Iceland. I don't know.
Dude, there has to be a boatload of islands out there that are just like no one's on them.
Yeah.
And we set up, I don't know.
Somewhere they've done Survivor. We can leave them like the...
There you go.
We can leave them the obstacle course.
Okay. So
Some
we
huts.
So we go there, we mow some lawn, we, comb a beach or two, we give them a starter kit on huts, a grill. I'm not saying they have to learn fire from scratch. Give them a matchbook and wish them luck. Wish them luck, I don't know. I just want to get it away from me. I'm done with this shit. I'm tired of reading about it every day. I don't even like talking about it every day. And it honestly feels like it's not that big a deal. Oh, it's only 7 were killed. Kind of failed.
Yeah.
It just feels like, whatever. Okay. Anyway, let's take a quick break. I think Ronnie Pickering. Remember Ronnie Pickering?
I do remember Ronnie Pickering.
Yeah. I believe he was in the news over the weekend. And I heard... Jay, I also heard an interesting discussion. I went and I saw our boy Raymond at the gas station today. It was filling up.
My man Ray.
Yeah, and I went in there, and he's got like 3 or 4 guys that are in there, buying various things from candy bars to cigarettes, and everybody knows Ray. And these guys are in a heated discussion, and I walk into no titty is worth $10 million. It's just not. I don't care how long you grab the titty. No titty on earth is worth. I haven't found it yet. And these 3 are having...
Not knowing anything else about the discussion, I would agree with that.
And so my response was immediate.
Hold on,
and
is
swift.
it the last titty on the planet?
No, I was going to ask you, what do you think they were discussing? Because I figured it out immediately.
That story we were talking about, right?
It's Mike Morse.
Yeah.
Of course it's Mike Morse.
Okay. Yeah,
So
yeah.
they were reading in the paper or whatever about Mike Morse.
Oh, because they want $10 million, yeah.
Yeah, because someone's suing for 10 mil. And so no one there, if those guys are on the jury, it is over. For the plaintiff looking for $10 million for a titty grab, because according to these 3 or 4 gentlemen, there ain't a titty on the planet worth $10 million.
Well, that's going to be a shit fight of a lawsuit because Deb Gordon is representing Mike Morse, and she's a bit of a bulldog.
Ooh.
She likes to litigate. So
I don't know
put
who Deb Gordon
her
is.
and Feiger together. She's
Yeah.
typically a plaintiff lawyer on the employment side, and she's pretty serious.
So you've gone head to head with Deb
Yeah,
Gordon.
yeah. But she and Feiger will go at it, man.
Yeah, is she good?
Yeah,
She is?
She's good
You're not winking, so you actually mean she's a good lawyer.
Yeah.
Competent lawyer.
for sure.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's take a quick break, and I got some bad news coming out of Lionel Richie's camp too.
Hello,
Is it,
is it me you're looking for? I can see it in your eyes. I can see it in your smile. Are you somewhere feeling lonely? Or is someone loving you? Don't tell me how to win your heart, for I haven't got a clue. But let me start by saying I love you.
The Detroit Cast continues after this short break.
During this break from Mike and Jay's hard-hitting analysis of the latest stories about dead babies or strangely shaped tumors out of India, I want to encourage you to contact Brent Wasik about insurance. Yeah, I know, auto, home, and life insurance isn't as exciting as the latest toy, but it's important that you have the insurance coverages you need at the lowest possible price. Call Brent today at 734-455-1900 for a free quote. Brent's been in the insurance business 29 years, almost as long as Big E has resided in his poor parents' basement. And he's affiliated with tons of insurance companies, so he can shop for the very best prices. Call Brent today, 734-455-1900.
The Detroit Cast continues now, bitches. Here's Mike and Jay.
All right, welcome back to the Detroit Cast. Mike and Jay.
Hey, the Hamlin Pub supports the Detroit Cast, so let's make it a point to support them. With locations in Rochester Hills, Clarkston, Chesterfield, and 2 in Shelby Township, you know there's one near you. The Hamlin Pubs have great food, ice-cold drinks, tons of craft beers, TVs, games, and great entertainment. Come on by or book your reservation today at hamlinpubs.com.
Did you guys wrap up your meeting during the break?
Meeting? I said a meal.
Oh, sorry. I don't know what you guys were doing up there. Mentioned Ronnie Pickering. Poor Ronnie Pickering.
Come on, who are you then?
Ronnie Pickering.
Who?
Ronnie Pickering.
Who?
Ronnie Pickering.
Who the fuck's that?
Yeah, me.
Yeah, me.
Yeah, me.
Yeah, me. Hothead Ronnie Pickering cannot keep out of the news. And he found himself in the news again over the weekend as I guess he had to go to court recently.
Does everybody remember who this guy was? About a year or two ago.
2015.
Okay. Hothead in England, challenges a guy to a bare knuckle, and it goes viral. It happens to be recorded off a guy's helmet cam.
Yeah, he was wearing like a GoPro on he was on his moped.
Yeah, you can hear the moped in the background.
Yeah.
And he was a kind of a professional.
Former boxer
okay.
back in the day. Yeah, he was used to the bare
Former
knuckle.
boxer. He was known as One Punch Ronnie. That was his name.
You cunt.
And Pickering, what was the deal? He didn't like the fact that the
guy cut him off, or
he was trying to like get through rush hour or something, and
it was like a lane closure, and this guy moved where he didn't want him to move. And,
Yeah.
and he fucking lost it. You know.
Yeah.
Why are you?
Why yeah. You cunt. Dude, that was so funny the first time we watched that, and that like he figures everyone knows who he is because of his boxing heyday
Right.
30, 40 years
Right.
ago. And well, who are you then?
And the guy on the motorbike is just like, what are you even talking about?
Yeah.
Come on, who are you then?
Ronnie Pickering.
Who?
Ronnie Pickering.
Who?
Ronnie Pickering.
Who the fuck's that?
Yeah, me.
Yeah, me.
Who the fuck's that?
Well, Pickering couldn't keep his
Remember
temper
his
down.
broad in the car too? She's just staring straight ahead.
Oh,
just like,
yeah.
Oh, Ronnie, don't do it again.
She
Don't
knows.
do it again, Ronnie.
She's woken up with more than one black eye from
Yeah.
trying to get involved when Pickering goes off on someone. Yeah, there he is.
There he
It
is.
is in his wee little car. Dude, that car is by the way, a Citroen Sara.
Sure.
Look at that, dude. Why is there no volume on that?
Shit.
Fucking E.
You've got it muted. That's why. E.
Fucking yeah. Yeah?
What's your problem? You wanna go?
You got a problem, haven't
Yeah,
you?
you, yeah.
Yeah, you have.
Get your fucking helmet off.
He's reaching for a
Oh,
seatbelt.
grow up, you
Yeah.
fucking fool.
You know
I
what I
think
am?
you're a real fool.
You know what I
Yeah?
am?
You what?
You know what I am?
Do I care?
Do a cat.
When you pull up,
Come on, who are you then?
Ronnie Pickering.
Who?
Ronnie Pickering.
Who?
Ronnie Pickering.
Who the fuck's that?
Yeah, me.
Oh, wow. Oh, brilliant.
Fucking found out then.
Fuck off then. Fuck off then.
You fuck off.
Fucking Johnny Pickering. Hey, someone famous, are you?
Johnny Pickering.
Oh,
You're someone famous then.
Here comes Pickering again.
They're like in this little 20-mile-an-hour chase now. A little wee car and a little wee moped.
Come on, what?
Be the
Filming
woman.
you. Yeah, here's the woman like, oh, God. I hope this doesn't end with another black eye for me.
What's that going to prove?
You, I'm gonna knock you out.
Why are you?
Why yeah.
Why are you?
Let's have a bare knuckle fight then.
What
Bare
would a bare
knuckle.
knuckle fight
Show you
like?
then, won't I? Who I am.
Who you are?
Like her
Who you
just
about?
looking straight ahead, like you said.
Knuckle fight.
What
Come
do you mean
on.
who you are?
You know what I mean?
Oh, what do you mean who you are? You said who you are.
You
said
are.
fucking
Bare knuckle
Pickering.
fucking fight then. Come on.
Dude,
said you
challenging
wanted
someone to a
Pickering
bare
in
knuckle
there.
is the greatest thing ever.
You idiot.
I don't know what you're on about.
See that? I'll fucking smash it. I'm telling you
Would
something.
you, right?
Yeah, you.
Why?
Because you're an idiot.
Why am I?
Do you want to have a fight or what?
I didn't say I wanted to fight with you.
I can't believe how long this goes.
Don't fucking cause one then.
I ain't caused one.
Don't want to have one.
I ain't caused
Oh
one.
my God, dude! I could watch Ronnie Pickering forever, losing his shit. He's stuck between like, do I put this thing in park and take my seatbelt off? He keeps going like,
Yeah.
put it, and he doesn't know what to do.
You
He
think
wants
there'd
to
be a cooling off though? The incident happened now 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Like, dude, he doesn't want to fight you. You've challenged him. You told him who you were. You know,
Yeah.
you did the whole big timer guy.
Yeah, but he disrespected not knowing who Ron Pickering was. I mean, he should have at least gone, oh, wow, that Ronnie Pickering or
You,
something.
you cunt.
But he wouldn't give him that when he clearly wanted him to acknowledge that he was Ronnie Pickering,
Yeah.
One Punch Ronnie, and moped guy Steve Middleton wouldn't give him that, wouldn't give it to him, and challenged him to a bare knuckle in front of his lady. And so anyway, Ronnie got in some trouble recently. Punched a man he thought was dealing drugs in his neighborhood, He allegedly assaulted the man near his home after being told that he'd been terrorizing a neighbor.
Vigilante, are you, Ronnie?
He was hauled before the Hull Magistrates Court, where he admitted a single charge of assault by beating on April 28th this year.
The Crown spoke.
Yeah, they sure did. He assaulted his victim for allegedly dealing drugs outside a female neighbor's property. Asked what he was doing. The man told Pickering, "Yeah, I'm hiding. Why?" And Pickering lost his shit at that, lost his temper. He lunged towards the man and struck him with a flurry of punches, including a right hook to the head, which caused him to stumble. And so the prosecutor, John Austin, said the officer says there was blood. He's seen blood on the guy's lips. I'm prepared to accept that the second and third punches didn't land, but the officer is quite clear that it was a full-strength punch to the head, a right hook from Pickering. And the evidence suggests that the guy was merely a drug user, not a drug dealer. And so Pickering's he got the book thrown at him. He's discharged conditionally for 2 years, ordered to pay £100 in compensation, which will be drawn from his disability checks.
If you're Pickering, this isn't that bad a thing, though, because before you kind of got stifled in your effort to pound the dude.
Yeah.
Now you've pounded a guy, and you've kind of proven yourself again.
Yeah.
You know? Little street cred.
You would think his boxing career would have done that already, though. You know, does he really need to go around assaulting the general public? You know what
I
mean?
wonder how much of this went on before, and they just, we didn't know about it. He wasn't chased down for it and prosecuted for it.
The whole neighborhood knows what a menace Pickering is.
He's just the village menace. Just a hothead asshole.
He goes around, and at the slightest injustice, he's ready for a bare knuckle.
Yeah.
He wants to go with people. Well, wasn't there something I thought, because Pickering kind of went underground. Remember, we were on the search for Pickering.
We were. We ran into an R. Pickering.
Yeah.
Not Ronnie.
In the
I guess.
neighborhood, too.
Yeah. Right down the street.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a single boy.
That Pickering. Longtime listeners will remember him.
Yeah.
Well, what's it got to do with me?
It's funny. Like, that guy was, what, in his 80s?
At least. I challenged him to a bare knuckle.
Then you would have had a flight and you'd be over there in a few hours.
Dude,
you almost killed the man.
Look, it's not my proudest moment. I've said that before. I've apologized. Apparently, people in this room can't accept apologies and move on.
If any new listeners want to hear this, it's under our samples tab on DetroitCast.com.
I would love
And
to.
yes, am I
samples.
proud of challenging an 80-year-old man to a bare knuckle? No, I'm not. But it was the heat of the moment.
You almost
I get
killed
that.
the guy. Hyperventilating.
Yeah. Oh, man.
But what would happen with the heat of the moment as you were sitting on the flight? Like, flying
A little
over.
cooling off period, right?
As you're
Maybe.
sitting on a 10-hour flight.
I like to think I wouldn't have actually booked the flight, but had I booked the flight, I probably would have followed through, at least shown up on his doorstep.
Well, what's it got to do with me?
Yeah, he was not happy with us. He did answer our call when we called back because he was having what we learned later was a meal. We thought it was a meeting.
Meeting? I said a meal.
Oh, settle down, poops. Yeah, but you guys have this. You guys do this to me all the time, where I do something, I cross a line that was unintended, and you guys won't let it fucking go. Fisting, the fisting joke I made to a second grade class. It's like, Jesus Christ, can we move on with life? They've graduated high school by now. The kids are fine. And this guy challenged him to a bare knuckle. Yeah, it was the heat of the moment.
I'm a single boy.
He just wanted everything to go away. That poor guy.
It's funny, that drop in specific made me believe Milo Yiannopoulos, of all people.
I'm a single boy.
When he was accused of...
Oh, talking about young kids?
Yeah.
And he was referring to boys.
He was referring to boys. And one of his arguments, people were like, he even admits it was boys, when he was talking about hooking up with people when he was younger. And he was like, he was trying to explain how... You got to understand, in the UK, like, we say boy all the time when talking about ourselves. And,
I'm a single boy.
And it was like, yeah, I remember this guy.
Yeah,
I'm a single boy.
Boy doesn't mean a 9-year-old. A boy just means I'm a male.
Right, right. Male? I said a meeting.
Meeting? I said a meal.
Oh, that guy. I want to. Can we call him back tomorrow?
Sure.
Just like
yes.
dial him up. I promise
Sure.
I'll be on my best behavior. I won't challenge him to a fight no matter what he says, but
2 years ago, yeah. I think it's cooled.
you think the rift
he
is...
may accept our call, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I hope so.
Hey, Mark Leibovitz has 16 years of institutional investment experience, including being a senior portfolio manager on a mutual fund. His background is in investments, not sales. Let him use his experience to build an investment plan for you. He's built one for me. He's built one for Mike. He can do it for you as well. Call Mark Leibovitz at LPL Financial. Call 248-626-2000. Ask for Mark.
Securities and advisory services offered through LPL Financial, a registered investment advisor. Member FINRA SIPC.
We've heard people do a lot of crazy shit on drugs. Especially what was the drug that's been going around where people are eating faces? And,
Bath salts.
Yeah, bath salts. You don't usually hear that with marijuana, like people going nuts.
No.
But these edibles are doing something to people. We saw it with E, where
It took him down to Chinatown.
oh, dude, he was on my couch for 2 days. Remember that? He couldn't go home.
He was fucked up.
Dude.
Wow.
That was as fucked up as I've ever seen someone. Like he was. Remember we gave him that smelling salt too?
Yeah. Brought him back to life.
It did.
You're
for
welcome.
A second. Yeah, that might have saved his life that night. He was not happy at the time, but he was going from puking to passing out to puking to passing out. His mom was calling all night. Remember that? We weren't answering the phone.
I do remember that.
Yeah.
Hi, Mrs. Fady, by the way.
Hi. Yeah, everything worked out fine. Your kid's
Sure.
no more retarded than he was the day before he dosed himself. Well, Lionel Richie's bass player has apparently had something similar happen where he took some edibles, marijuana. It sounds like brownies maybe. And I don't know what he was mixing with, but then he went on a spree. He got really mad and started stabbing himself.
Oh,
Yeah.
stab yourself.
Dude.
I think everything in your being would reject that. Kind of like drowning yourself.
Yeah.
Like, no, I just want to, no, I don't do that. I don't stab.
Yeah, stab. Oh, E, if we would have handed you a knife that night, you think you would have been capable of stabbing yourself?
I don't know. I don't really think so,
So
personally.
fucked up, man. His head was at the base of that toilet in there,
Ugh.
that nasty
It was
toilet.
laying on the porcelain.
That
he was
was-
like drooling on it.
Yeah, that
and-
was the worst I've ever been in my entire life. I remember I woke up at like, I technically was supposed to still go to work at Zot, and I woke up at like 6 or something, and I'm like, I gotta go to work still. And I walked down your stairs, and I like halfway down the stairs, I realized I wasn't even gonna make it to the car. And that was hours later.
Well,
Yeah.
it was the gummy bear, right?
Right.
It was
Yeah.
a gummy bear. He
Ingested.
started with the head, as was suggested. Like,
No,
dude,
no,
you-
I just ate the whole thing.
I
right
know,
off the-
I know.
oh, yeah.
Well, you originally took a bite of the head because it's, dude, you've never done these. We've heard these can affect pretty
Yeah.
hard. So
Yeah.
just chill out for a second. Bites the head, eats that. Oh, dude, I'm not really feeling this. So he just munches the whole
Did
thing
you
down.
Eat, did
No,
you eat the
I- no,
whole
I
thing?
don't-
I thought you ate three
Dude,
quarters of
that's
it.
not even how it went. Dude.
Yes, it is.
No, it isn't.
Dude, you were the one who got fucked up on it. Believe me, that's
Yeah.
exactly how it
I
went.
just ate the whole thing right away. Okay.
You waited.
Okay.
I
I
distinctly
thought he did
remember a
too.
period,
I
and
don't
you're just like, it's
remember
not,
that.
dude. It's not a big deal. I'm eating the whole fucking thing.
And then we started the show almost immediately. And for the first 15 minutes, he was like, yeah, this is awesome. He was having fun with it. And
Yep.
then it turned on
Dude,
him
I remember
quick.
like I moved over here to try to do something with this with like the clock or something. I don't think Kadog was here. It was just me. No one else was here. And like I just literally I remember just like couldn't do anything. I could not function. I remember like going like I need to move this mouse and I couldn't do it.
Well, at least you didn't stab yourself.
That's true.
And I know what you're wondering, Jay. How many times did he stab himself? I don't know if he stabbed himself once, twice, three times a lady. I don't know. I don't know if stabbing himself was easy like Sunday morn.
Oh boy.
I don't know. I can't say if at first he was high as shit and felt like he was dancing on the ceiling. I don't know. But 42 years old, you would figure a guy like that would at least have like been there before. Like he's a child
Oh, what
mentally.
a feeling. Yes, that is weird.
Is that dancing?
It's gotta
oh,
be-
What a feeling.
It's got to be that it was laced with some shit, right? That he just wasn't aware of or used to.
Maybe, but brownies. Like I always hear when people say, "Oh yeah, you have to watch out with these edibles." Gummy bears, like gummy bears specifically. It's not the peanut butter cups. It's not the brownies you usually hear about. It's always the gummy bears
Yeah.
for some reason. I don't know what is going on with the gummy bears, but those are the ones people point to. Like, yeah, you better be really experienced to do those gummy bears. Those will fuck you up. So I don't know, but this guy Ethan Farmer is his name.
Well, Godspeed to Mr. Farmer.
Yeah.
Get him back on that big blue base pretty soon with that see-through "I'm too sexy for you" tank top.
Oh, I like that, huh?
You know?
Right said Fred style.
Yes.
I understand he's still at the hospital. I don't know if he'll be there all night long.
All night.
By the way, whatever Lionel Richie is taking, I want.
He looks exactly the same.
Dude, I was watching an old video. It might have been, hello, is it me you're looking for? I can see it in your eyes. I can see it in your smile. Well, let me start by saying, or however it goes. He looks identical to what he did 30 years ago. I'm not even kidding, dude. He's what, in his 70s now?
I reckon.
I think we had the same discussion a couple years ago when he popped up and did something. It's amazing. He doesn't look like he's gained a pound. He doesn't. His hair doesn't look any
Kitterman's
different.
still awesome. Still thick mustachio.
Killing it. Yeah.
Look at that son of a bitch. Just
Look at
staring
that.
you down. Look at that.
Dude, he absolutely looks like the
Soul Glow.
Soul Glow guy, like the actor.
Eric. Yeah, he looks good.
He looks great.
Yeah, he
Jay,
does.
come on.
He does. I'm not going to say he looks exactly like he did, but I think you were being a little facetious.
I was.
Yeah, no, he does. He looks very good.
And he sounds good. Mm-hmm. Esau him
He's
live.
a showman. He's a showman.
Do you know Esau? Lionel
No, I
Richie
didn't know
live?
that.
Sure did.
Yes, I went to me and Ty went to Jimmy Buffett. His first time.
Oh yeah, a couple of years ago, right?
Yeah, the first time. Well, the first time he did. Well, this we weren't even doing the show yet. This was before the podcast and stuff. But when he was at Comerica, and yeah, Lionel Richie opened up for him.
Oh,
and
shit.
He was good. I mean,
Let me ask you about that story. You mentioned a guy named Ty. Your guy Ty.
My guy Ty.
What happened to TCG, man?
Yeah, dude. What is up
no,
with
he's
TCG?
just busy, I guess. I don't know. Life stuff happens. Like he's, he works. He's got a real job. I think now. Like that was the
You
thing.
think?
Isn't he a teacher?
No, you're thinking.
Oh,
of someone
that's
else.
Chubbs.
I don't know, dude. Like he's always been a little
grown apart.
He's not a person who's very open. So if you don't ask him specifically, dude, hey, what's going on? We haven't. I mean, we were texting this week.
Can I
He
make a
almost-
suggestion?
What?
You ask him what's going on, because this is weird. You guys were like, attached at the hip for a
Yeah,
year.
that was a crew.
Good year. I mean, you were, you had the boom box outside his window to apologize to him and all that shit. You got everything back on the straight and narrow,
Dude,
and then
they were-
nothing.
I mean, we still text, and we try to do stuff, and it
We
just doesn't
double
seem to
dated.
work.
We went to a game of Pistons
I remember.
game. Me, Gab, and E and TCG.
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. It's
I
just
mean, you guys are a Travis Barker away from being your own Blink 182. Let's be honest. You guys were
doesn't
right
make any
there.
sense,
All
but-
the
Small things.
That-
Here's the thing. If you ask me, like, well, you went years without seeing Jay, and I would go, yeah. You know what? Jay and I ran hard for many years, and then Jay got married. He started having kids right away in his career, and life gets in the way. But when you say, well, life got in the way of me and TCG, but he's not married. He doesn't have kids. He's got a job. Like,
I don't know.
okay, everybody's
there's
got a
no
job.
answer to it, dude.
What did you do?
Something
E?
happened. What'd you do to him,
I
you
didn't do
son of a
shit.
bitch? Jesus.
He's just doing. I don't know. I guess he's busy doing some new job or whatever, and it's just not. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. We just haven't
There's
hung out as
something
much.
here, man.
Yeah.
Come on, Big E. Is that all you got?
You guys were too close. We got stories every weekend about you guys sharing a bed at a hotel and going chick picking and go time at closing time. Like that shit was real and it was happening all the time. And now it's just we don't even hear it. It's like he dropped off the face of the
Dude,
earth.
I don't know. Ty, I'll say like Ty. I don't know if he doesn't like going out as much anymore, or he either doesn't, or something's happened because he's always just talking about like needing to be up in the morning and like on Saturdays even and shit. And I don't know. Once in a while I ask him to do something and
He's not down with the Peter Pan existence.
see, but I don't think
He's
he's
not.
still living at home himself, dude. He's not making any major. He hasn't done anything big time either.
Yeah, this talk about having to get up in the morning and stuff, though, that's rejecting the
Well, he had
pan-like
a-
nature of your
would agree.
existence.
I don't know
I
the
would
answer.
agree.
I don't, dude. I'm not going to get into personal facts about a person. I could say more stuff, but I'm not going to do that.
Okay, so
to be
there is
honest with you.
something there. He doesn't want to
No.
go. Okay, I'll respect that you don't want to go there, but you just admitted there's something else there.
There's something,
Yeah,
but it,
so when you said there wasn't, you lied.
Well, no,
Now
no.
we can't trust
You
anything.
fucking-
Your credibility is shot, sir.
Sure, what-
Oh boy.
no.
Well, will you at least admit that you said there was nothing there, and then you just admitted now that there
Well,
was
no,
something there?
No, I said that nothing.
you're gonna lie
no,
again.
no.
Nice.
Fine.
You admit that you told a falsehood.
No, I
you
will
were
not admit 'cause
untruthful.
that's not what happened.
Ladies and gentlemen, DetroitCast.com is a wonderful website. Please check it out. Under the Help the Show tab specifically, there is a spot called the Listener Business page. Check it out. It's a page under Help the Show, as I say, and it's a great place with a lot of listener-owned businesses. Great place to check out. Take a look at it. Be great to support the supporters of the show, and it's something that's going to be changing over time, and so it's important that you return to it
Regularly.
And, regularly check it out, and most importantly, please use those businesses. At least give them a try. If you're in the market for something that they're offering, give them a call because it's fellow listeners, fellow lovers of the show, supporters of the show.
And the cool thing is having that connection with TDC. They're going to want to do extra good work for you.
There you
it's
go.
it's like knowing the contractor personally. You have that to bond over. So instead of just opening the yellow pages or whatever people do to search people out, go with someone who you've got this connection with.
Today's feature business, Peerless Steel, the distributor extraordinaire of all kinds of steel. They have next day delivery throughout the Midwest, and moreover, they have Bacon Fest this June 9th, Mike. I'm headed there.
Are you? I kind of want to go to Bacon Fest too.
It's the 7th annual Bacon Fest in support of No Resolve, which is a charity that fights against teen suicide. Did you know that teen suicide is the second leading cause of death for teens?
After what? Car accidents or mesothelioma? Which is it? It would make sense that teen suicide would be one of the really high up ones. I don't know. I hear a lot about mesothelioma these days. Some should be taken seriously. It's no laughing matter. Suicide makes sense because young people don't typically die. You know, they've got the whole youth thing on their side.
True.
You know what I
mean? Other than the measles that get in the way of some.
Dude, I'm worried about teen suicide these days. That like, it is so different from when we were kids. Like the social media aspect, the kid that, like Biggie, they got picked on all day, they could go home and then shut it off.
Yeah.
And not deal with it for 12 hours before he had to go back to that hellhole or back on that bus. The kids today can't. They
gang up on you in a heartbeat.
Oh, girls can be vicious to each other. Imagine that, dude. You get home and you're sitting there with your parents and they're asking you how your day was, and your notifications are blowing up as kids are just pounding you for something
that's
you
your
did.
whole world, that little universe of people that you need acceptance from. Or a chick who gets involved with a dude, pictures are taken and sent and exchanged, and then those get out. Yeah, it's a different world.
It's a nightmare, and good luck explaining to kids how this time period you're going through is literally worthless. Like, you're going to graduate and then not see 99% of these people ever again.
I'm constantly trying to impart that on Manny and Russell.
Yeah.
And it's just so hard to understand. But I'm like, look, guys, seriously, really, you got to believe me here.
Yeah. And why would they understand? That's all they know.
Yeah.
Their entire existence from birth to this moment that's all they have.
Yeah.
And so they can't see further down the road that, like, oh, wow, this is going to mean so less than nothing. And all those kids that were kick-ass cool kids are most likely going to be fucking losers when they get older. It is what it is, man.
Big likelihood, yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah,
anyway.
Bacon Fest is supporting that. Good for them. I'm going to stop on by, dude. They've got a whole roast pig, large buffet of creative bacon dishes. You guys are invited if you want to go.
I would like
know
to
that's
go to
Detroit Cast Day in Houghton as well. 6-9.
Yeah,
so
sure.
I know you're kind of weighing, what do I do there? Do I fly up to Houghton? Do I go
Sure.
to Bacon Fest? But it's on the table for
Well,
you.
Bacon Fest is a little closer, which I like. I do like that it's closer.
I'm going to go.
And I love bacon. I'm a big fan of crispy bacon.
Our second featured business is none other than My Pillow with Mike Lindell.
Ugh.
Dude, buy My Pillows. Go to mypillow.com, use TDC code. That's TDC. Mm-hmm. You see it up in the right-hand corner. Enter your coupon code TDC. You'll get the
Great discount.
Best discount you can get is through that code. And we have a sweetheart deal with Mr. Lindell.
Yeah, they really took care of us. So if you've ever been on the fence or you know someone, push that around. Use TDC as the promo code, and Mike is really taking care of us and the people over there. So we can't stress that enough. Are you happy, Jay? He's stewing now. You made stew.
Oh, I know.
You feel? I can feel it. I can feel it over here. You're stewing. You've been stewing since you stopped. You have that dumb look on your face that you get when you stew, and you're officially stewing.
The blackest eyes, the devil's eyes.
How are we doing for email, Jay?
We do have some email, Mike. Before we get to that, I'd like to engage in the reading of posts. All right, I'll give you this one. You read this one.
I don't want to read it. I can't.
Read it
It's too far
read it in a
away.
Donald Trump voice.
Yes. Wait.
No, that's Mike Lindell.
Hi, I'm Mike Lindell. I can't, dude. It's too far away. What part do you want me to read?
I'll read the fact,
Okay.
the quick fact that everybody wants to hear.
Boys, it was tremendous. It was a tremendous time here in Vatican City. I'm a huge fan of the Pope, and if he said it was great having
us
as his honored, and he said it was great having us as his honored guests. When you,
it's tight. It's too small. I can't read it. My eyes quit on me like a week
Mike,
ago.
Oh no.
Yeah.
when you come, I highly recommend the veal, and make sure your girls dress appropriately. I guess it's a thing here that you don't want to dress wrong. Be well, and tell Eric you're fired. You're so fucking fired, Eric. Your favorite president ever, and I mean ever, the Donald.
Is that Vatican City on the back?
We got
I'm
this
looking
from
at
the
there?
Donald, apparently. That is Vatican City, and that fact is so small, I cannot read it.
See? And you got your eyes quit on you years ago, and you got yours fixed.
Woo! Vatican City is it's a city-state surrounded by Rome, Italy. It's the headquarters of the Roman Catholic Church. It's home to the Pope and a trove of iconic art and architecture.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's all it says?
Yes.
You just quit there. Seems like an odd place to quit.
That's all it says.
Sounds like it was just about to get good.
You per 7-course meal, get it? A pasty and a 6-pack.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the pasty?
The pasty, dude. Right there. The
Oh,
pasty and a
that.
6-pack of beer.
Okay,
It's a
this
Uper
is-
6-pack.
Okay.
Got gypped sending the duplicate pasty post before. Got these at my local pasty shop. Lowry's Pasty. I guess they're getting a plug from us now. Lowry's Pasty.
Okay, very good. Do they make titty pasties or just straight?
I think just edible.
Okay.
I guess titty pasties can be edible too.
Sure.
The kind that are packed with meat and goodness.
Mm-hmm.
Now, on to email, Mike. Mike writes in concerning the vanity plate that I mentioned last week. You'll recall I mentioned an Ohio vanity plate on a Rolls Royce that rolled by me as I was going down to Ohio.
What did it say? Like now hiring or
It
something?
just said
or-
hiring.
Hiring, yeah.
But as
okay.
I saw this thing approaching, I'm like, look at this fucking pimp. And then it all made sense when he passed. I was like, hell yeah, hiring. It's funny that Jay mentioned that vanity plate, that Ohio plate that says hiring. The guys came to do a photo shoot along Lake St. Clair last week, and that Rolls-Royce was part of it. The rest of the cars were a McLaren, Testarossa, and an Audi R8, all very sweet cars. And the Rolls has a wrap on it that's not painted, but a vinyl wrap. Just wanted to say hi and look forward to every show. Keep it going. Yeah,
Wow.
dude, those wraps are something, aren't they?
Yeah.
Like the Aviato wrap that
Aviato.
that
Sure.
Erlich Bachman has on
Yeah.
Silicon Valley. You can do anything, I guess.
Have you ever seen a Rolls? Well, you obviously saw that one. I saw one up at the gas station up here. It was, I think it was Joe Dumars. Joe Dumars. It was like right towards the end of the Pistons' hot run.
Yeah.
You know, and he got out of one. I think, what's his name? Chauncey had one of those too. Those badass rolls.
I
like
don't
the
know,
Phantom
man.
or whatever. The Phantom rolls.
Yeah, I think
or-
I remember Sheed having one of those. But
Yeah.
I know it gets different when you get all that money, but
Yeah.
I'm telling you, dude, I don't think I'd have a car like that if I had that.
You don't, if you had like extreme wealth like
I'd
that.
have
you didn't-
Jeeps and trucks and stuff like that. I wouldn't
Yeah.
want a Rolls Royce.
Yeah.
It's just kind of out
Yeah.
there.
No, I'm not a Rolls guy either. When I was a kid, though, that Testarossa, oh,
Yeah.
like in the 80s, I think I had a pin up on my wall just like from a magazine.
It's
That
funny, dude.
Testarossa. Oh, I love that car.
My boys are always pointing out cars like that, and again, I'm like, blinders on, don't look.
Yeah, don't
you
give
know?
it to 'em.
Yeah, don't give it to them. But they'll be off in the distance. They'll be like, oh, look at that vet right there. And it's just so funny to hear a 13 and 15-year-old boy,
Yeah.
you know, oh my God.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Like,
Look at that.
panty droppers going by. Yeah, there's the Miami Vice Testarossa.
I like the red one. Theirs is white, but the red Testarossa with that on the side, that carved out of the
Yeah.
door, you know, whatever that is. I'm sure it's got a name. But yeah, for some reason, that car was just like, oh, fucking.
The convertible version in Weird Science, that one. Anthony Michael Hall drove it at the end, I believe.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Gents, says Adam, I feel the need to prod E about a few things that he stated a couple weeks ago. Please tell me if my critique is unwarranted.
Oh, boy. He's stewing at the moment.
I know.
Are you
this
sure
is-
you want to go
this is
here?
Perfect for E to consider. A bit ago, E said he hated living in the area that he does, and if his situation was different, he would be out of White Lake, Novi, Waterford as quickly as possible, that he would rather live downtown Detroit and be right in the heart of the city on an upswing.
Hell yeah.
E, was that paraphrased nicely? Yes,
No,
Adam?
that's probably right.
Okay. And then a few episodes later, E stated that he would be perfectly suited to live in a lighthouse by himself, that I don't need any human interaction, so forth and so on. Is that E fairly
Those
stated?
Yeah. But
right.
you can make, dude, people can have two different things, and I think that in that situation, like, they're just two different things. Like, I just hate White Lake in this time and place we are. If you lived in a back in a day when there was lighthouses and a lighthouse person, I believe I could do that.
Well, his critique is not your inconsistency, but it's as follows. Why, with his shitty money situation, would he even think about moving downtown? The cost of living is through the roof down there, in my opinion. Car insurance is outrageous. That's true.
Yeah.
Renting a shitty apartment is expensive. Roommates could help. Why not move somewhere away from the city? You could own vast swaths of land
'Cause
for
it's
about the same
stupid.
amount you would rent. He could host his own EDM parties to satisfy his hipster
Hell yeah.
scum mentality. Your thoughts?
I hate suburban. I don't like it.
No, you get on the outskirts and get yourself just a barn. All you need is a barn,
I don't want
E,
that
and then you could have
shit.
killer EDM parties in your barn.
Don't want it. Because dude, because I just don't like it. I like the idea of like being able to, hopefully the best scenario is that you can walk places. You get a place like you used to live in Berkeley, and you can, it's a 5-minute bike ride to downtown, and then you can just do your thing. Or
for now, though, I think this is perfect right here. He moves in here. There's no downside. I don't see any downside. He moves in here. You can walk to the farmhouse down there. You could get a little icy at Mitch
I don't want a
Albom's
farm.
place.
I hate living.
By the way, I saw a bunch of people sitting there eating ices, Mitch Albom ices.
Yeah.
I hate living. I don't like that. I just don't like it. I don't like the idea of live. I don't want a big yard. I don't want to be in a place where I have to drive 10 minutes everywhere anymore, or 20. It's a half hour back.
So you like the idea of downtown Detroit apartment, but you also like being on the outskirts in a lighthouse too.
Well,
the idea of
no,
that.
those are not it, dude. You can just say two different things where I could see doing these things. I don't know, but if
he's a walking Green Acres. Dude.
No. In this
Green Acres is the place.
In this time and setting,
farm living is the life for me.
Green Acres stretching far and wide. Darling, I love you, but give me that countryside.
And then he's also the
New York is where I'd rather stay.
I only said that I think I could do the lighthouse because I think I'd be okay.
get allergic sniffing hay.
By the way, I may or may not be looking into changing something up and looking for roommates.
All right, E, what are you looking into? He does like this.
Like,
I'm just going to tell you this on the side.
No, I'm saying I'm kind of looking into it.
All right,
finally.
what are you looking into? Where are you going, E?
Berkeley, Royal Oak, or Midtown.
Wow, Jesus. Look at you, right in the heart of
Berkeley,
everything.
Royal Oak, or Midtown. Could you find more expensive living?
But I'm gonna have to do it roommate style. Like I'm gonna just rent a room.
Can you find someone to live with you?
Well,
my God.
I would have thought you'd be more of a Ferndale guy, to be honest with you.
No, I would not.
He's gonna have to room blind. He's gonna have to be like a Craigslist dude.
That's
like,
what I'm doing.
Like there's no fucking way people who know him are gonna go in on that.
Well, who just say I want, dude? Whatever. That is what it is. I'm doing looking at Craigslist.
Can you imagine responding to an ad? Just going, the guy seems okay.
He's got a job. And
Fuck
you, man. Fuck you.
Oh.
I wouldn't want to live with either of you. By the way, just FYI. So.
Good. Wouldn't want to live with you.
Well, same.
Can you imagine after a month?
I was going to offer him a place to stay, but now that I know he doesn't want to live with me.
I don't want it anyway, so don't worry.
All right, cool. I was going to offer you a free place to live, but whatever. If you'd rather stay with your
No,
mom.
you weren't, but...
You don't know that, E. You don't know what's in my heart. And I was about to offer you a free place to stay, but forget it now. I had no idea you didn't want to live with me.
Okay.
It's fine.
Well, that's all right.
Bone Job follows up. Remember, the ball's in Bone Job's
He's
court.
still stewing. He's stewing even more now.
He needs to get our story.
Oh, we put the ball back in Bone Job's court. Though.
Did
we
we?
kind of said, dude, what is your problem with E?
Yeah.
So here we go. Hey, Mike and Jay, the reason I have such hatred for E-Tard is that I've tried to turn several people onto the show. I love the show and want to be greatly successful. I've had so many people tell me that they tried to listen but couldn't get over how annoying E is. It's got to be embarrassing, right?
Yeah.
You kind of
Not
vouch
really.
for us.
Dude, there's you know what?
Kind
I
of
know.
you're going out on a limb a little bit. You're like, hey, I really enjoy the show. You guys check this out, and then come back. Go, dude.
Yeah.
That's what you enjoy. How do you listen to that?
Some people hate
fuckface?
Norm Macdonald, and he's my favorite
Dude,
comedian ever.
It's like if you said to someone like, "This is the best grocery store you're going to find in your area." It's just the best, and you send people in there, and all the fruit and vegetables are rotten, spoiled. You know what I mean? You can imagine how people are like, "Dude, you sent me here, and every fucking banana was brown, and all the
And more than
tomatoes
that,
were mushed."
they'd start to judge you, like, dude, how could you come here and think this is good, man?
Yeah, this is not acceptable.
I'm over it. You wasted my time. I'm over that.
Yeah.
But dude, how do you keep coming back to this? So Bone Job is in a tough spot, as you can imagine.
He is.
He says some felt bad for him and didn't want to listen. Others were just annoyed. Perhaps there are behind the scenes things that he does to help the show. No.
What you see is what you get. It's mostly on air.
However, I have a hard time believing that he can complete basic tasks and see him as an obstacle to the show's success. I believe Drew said it best when he claimed while sitting in that very studio that Eric has no discernible talent and will never be anything other than a detriment to any show he's on. Did you really say
Not
that?
exactly how that went down.
Is that paraphrased?
I don't remember.
Is that a direct quote?
That's definitely paraphrased, by the way.
All right, what's the quote?
I don't know the exact quote. I think he at times referenced that I would have a place in radio, but I might not like that place.
So what? You're gonna sweep up the studios or
in the
something?
broom
Well,
closet?
no, but just insinuating. I think that I would be a punching bag my entire life, and it would just be.
Well, Drew's a smart guy. I mean,
Right.
he would know.
Called that one. As for me, it will take a lot more than the tard to get rid of me. I'm here for the long run, at least until E runs the show, ruins the show once and for all.
Yeah.
So we speculated whether Bone Job was gone. Remember, we said I think he ebbed and flowed in and out of the show.
Well,
Says
he's definitely been less vocal. Fair to say.
I think so. Yeah.
Here's the argument for E, because there are some people out there, believe it or not, who really enjoy E. And it would be a different story if we were forcing it on you. Like if we were doing 6 to 10 at a radio station and we had you guys by the balls and it's like, I can't do it. But the fact is, it's a podcast. So if you get into something where it's like, oh, he's going to tell another 10-minute hooker story, bloop, 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 fast forward, and then you get back to whatever.
I suggest
you have that luxury.
I would suggest, however, if he's telling a hooker story, don't fast forward.
I would suggest that as well.
If he's fumbling through an EDM story or dancing or something, maybe you fast forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And honestly, a lot of times we're looking to kill a few minutes. You know, and I'll be honest with you. Like, we don't get anything out of it either, but it's like, oh, man, E, I'm going to need you to eat 5 minutes. Tell an EDM story. The stories are not that strong today. And so, yeah, that's what it is. No offense, E.
I'm laughing all the way to the bank, Mike, so don't worry about it.
I know you are. This show is going to pay for this fine apartment you're going to get downtown, Midtown someday soon, E.
Speaking of Bone Job and P1s, Aaron writes in with Tiger's explosive diarrhea. If Tiger Woods is on a regular dose of Vioxx, that boy has got constant diarrhea happening. He really could use that Gatorade endorsement now to stay hydrated. I had a pre-sports injury, says Aaron, and had a hack doctor giving out Vioxx as fast as he could, almost like he was getting kickbacks or something. Does happen.
Crazy.
Turns out I was just a fat ass who needed to play football for a season. All knee pain evaporated once a few pounds fell off. For the 6 months I was on that shit, though, I never had a poo firmer than a melted Wendy's Frosty. It was horrible. I talked to a few other people also taking Vioxx, and my problem was a common theme. A couple months later, that shit was pulled and the class action started. I should have joined the class and got my $6.
Yeah.
Those class actions funny.
Yeah.
Like 10 cents. You ever get a check for that shit? I have. I think it was like a cable issue or something, some truth in advertising.
Did you have to sign up for it to like take part in the class action? I thought that's the thing that always keeps me away. You have to like send it back.
I think I opted in, and then I got like 2 years later a check for like 38 cents or some shit.
Really?
Sweet.
Which is so funny because the law firm that takes it will get half or whatever.
33 and a third.
Yeah, 33 and a third. They'll get real money, and then the million people in the class action will all get their 38 cents.
Brutal.
Yeah.
Tiger Woods DUI on that subject. Matt writes in concerning the Romberg test. Remember the Romberg test?
Yeah, I'm still confused about the Romberg test.
He has a quote, and I think he's taken this from a Florida source. The Romberg alphabet test during a DUI investigation administered often in Florida is to state the alphabet forward, not backward, and to do so without singing or using voice inflection / rhyming. It is a non-standard test, and despite a large public misconception, is not asked to be recited backward. And here's the police report, a snippet concerning the Romberg alphabet. During the Romberg alphabet instruction phase, Woods was swaying front to back. Woods was asked if he knew the entire English alphabet from A to Z, to which he stated he did. After finishing the instructions, Woods was asked if he understood the instructions, to which he stated he did. Woods was asked what instructions were, to which he stated, not to sing the national anthem backward. That's where that came from.
Okay,
Remember?
I was
We're like,
wondering
dude,
about that. Like
the national anthem.
Yeah, and then they kept saying that he got it right, that he successfully did it, the national
He said,
anthem
like,
backward. I was
Anthem
like,
national the.
yeah.
Yeah, we thought it was maybe a trick.
Yeah.
Tomfoolery. Wool was being pulled. To which he repeated it to ensure that he heard Woods correctly. Woods was then again read the instructions about Romberg, to which he stated he understood and said to repeat A to Z, making sure he gets each one correct. Woods began to walk off and seemed as if he was lost. Oh, man, all you got to do is A, B, C, D.
Yeah, I don't think that successful Romberg alphabet test would have helped him much, to be honest with you.
He could have aced it. He could have fucking killed that thing, front and back. I think he still would have been hauled in.
If you get an A in gym class and F's in every other course, you're not getting a 4-point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're just not.
You're not going on to second grade.
No.
Yeah, that was a tough one. Did you see the I know we watched like the roadside video a little bit last week. Did you see the stuff from inside the precinct? Like him sitting in the chair, just like wobbling and shit.
Yeah, in passing. I wasn't paying much attention to it, but I felt bad for him, honestly. I
You
felt
know,
bad.
a lot of people are, and I'm a little cautious to give him a pass on this one.
Yeah.
Because I think most people do know what they're taking, and in his case, I'm speculating, but with all of his injuries, I'm wondering if he hasn't been on this shit for a long time.
Yeah.
And
Wouldn't
probably
be
knew
surprised at all.
exactly how to manage it, and was probably, in his mind, managing it pretty well that night.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to just be like, oh my God, everybody jumped to the conclusion that he was drunk, and we were so wrong.
Mhm.
And he should be given a pass on this. And
Yeah.
moreover, like, people were speculating, you know what, this might be a thing where, because of opioid addiction and all that is such a big deal right now, he might be able to actually not only not lose the sponsors, but have the sponsors encourage that he's able to come out and speak about this thing that came out of nowhere. It hit me, and you got to be really careful with this stuff,
Which would be a good angle, but he's not someone that likes the limelight. He doesn't.
Yeah.
He
Well, he's
doesn't-
got to do the community service, though. So
Yeah.
maybe that's where he does that.
Athletes are different than entertainers. Like, entertainers love being on stage and tap dancing and Kathy Griffining
By
for
definition,
the
Mike,
world.
they're
Yeah.
entertainers.
They love that, but these athletes are different in that, like, they just happen to be really, really good at something. They don't necessarily want to be a spokesperson for something. That's why for Tiger, it's like, yeah, he'll do commercials in Japan and he'll do some recorded stuff for Buick, but for the most part, you don't tend to see them out doing shit, and that's why I kind of feel sorry, because I get it. I get what it's like to feel like, I don't want to leave the house. I'd just rather stay here. And then this happens. It sucks. It's awful, and he'll pay the price for it. But, the way our media is and the way we all are as people consuming it, like, you can't get enough of, like, let's watch him fall on his face for 20 minutes on camera. This is great. And it's just, I can't help but just go, that fucking sucks to be in that position where we're just, as a nation of people, we put so much stock into these celebrities, and then we can't wait for their downfall and laugh and point, and it is what it is, man. And it's not going to stop. It's not going to change anything, but
It's part of the whole entertainment cycle, though.
Yeah.
Everybody likes to point and laugh when they fall.
Yep. And we're guilty of it too. I know I'm hypocritical even saying that. We'll do 10 stories a day where we point and laugh at some idiot for doing something
You're a
stupid.
public
but-
figure, though, so
Yeah.
with those many, many millions, hundreds of millions of dollars goes that scrutiny.
You're absolutely right.
Sir, we will save the rest for tomorrow.
Very good. Well, let's get out of here. E, are you still stewing? Are you okay over there?
Fine, I wasn't even
All right.
stewing.
He stewed.
He was so stewing. You didn't even take a shot at DT who was ragging
Bone
at
Job.
Bone Job.
It's not
you
worth
didn't even
it.
like, fuck you, dude.
It's not
Nothing.
worth it.
All right. Maybe you're growing, E. Well,
Maybe.
we'll call it a day there. Thanks, everybody, for hanging with us. As always, we appreciate that. We'll do it again tomorrow. We'll see you then.
You've been listening to the Detroit Cast with your hosts, Mike and Jay. From all of us at Radio for One Studios, thank you for listening. And as always, thank you, Detroit.